Land, not only here in Kenya, but around the world, is a highly controversial and emotive issue. And that explains why the world has always been at war with countries trying to gain more land. And that explains why US President Donald Trump wants a piece of Greenland. Well, here in Kenya, we know the history of land. And this morning on BizCheck, this is going to be our conversation. Land ownership as well as management here in Kenya, the do's and the don'ts, and the regulatory policies that we need to work on. My name is O'Brien Kimani, and you're watching BizCheck live from our national headquarters here at the Broadcasting House in Nairobi. Plus, on this show, you know we go heavy and we go deep. We shall be looking at the global geopolitics, the realignment going on, the camaraderie between Russia, North Korea, India, as well as Iran. What does it mean for the world? Plus, the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. What does it mean if it continues? And Trump's tariffs, what are they, or how are they impacting the global economy? We shall be having a team of experts who will be guiding us through this concept and, of course, through these negotiations. Plus, our reporters are on the ground. We shall be going to different counties just to get a glimpse of what's happening there, what is the news, and what are the policymakers saying in your county. I told you we are live from Broadcasting House. My X-handle is at O'Brien Kimani, at KBC Channel 1. We just want to get in touch with you so that you can explain to us what we are doing in your life. Welcome to the show. I told you that we want to start off this conversation with the land question in Kenya. Since 1900s, when the colonialists came to Kenya, land has always been a key emotive issue, and that's why the colonialization happened here in Kenya. And today we just want to focus on this issue. And I'll be talking to Kogi Mwaura. He's the CEO of Finsco Africa. He's joining us this morning. They're doing a lot of development in the land space. They have expanded into Tanzania. They're also looking at opening their operations in many countries around the world, including the United States. He'll be explaining to us the issues that are dogging this sector and what we need to do to streamline this sector. Thank you very much indeed, Kogi, for joining us this morning. First of all, give us an idea. How would you describe land in Kenya?
Thank you so much, Brian. I think I would say since we got our independence, land has been a very emotive issue because everyone wants to feel like we own. In fact, why our forefathers were fighting for our independence, one agenda was the land. So land has been a very critical in our development. And also, if you look at our economy, RAD contributes, or RAD agenda contributes about 14% of our GDP, or what's called the real estate. Got about 14% of our GDP. Currently, we have a GDP of about 110 billion US dollars, and a contribution of about 14%. We're not talking about anything less than 2 trillion Kenya money. So basically, we are saying we can't ignore the issue of the RAD. The other thing is that we are in the manufacturing sector, and that's where jobs are most created. Because you mention agriculture, you're talking about land. Yeah. You mention manufacturing, you're talking land. Why am I talking about land? Because you require a factory to do land, to do your business. So you need land. Okay. You, wherever you are, anywhere you are, even where you are seated on, you are seated on land. Land. When we got the independence, after all that, they have been having so many cases of RAD. The Dongo report was all talk about RAD. The injustices that we've always been talking, most of them has been always about RAD. The issues of the crashes that were happening in 2007, they were all related to the matters of concerning RAD. Yep. And even if you go all around, to go to Mombasa today, the big issue that is happening today in the coast region is about of squatters, people occupying people's land. So it has been a very serious issue. And if you go to our courts today, you realize that majority of the cases that our judges are handling today are all related to to RAD. Today, if you look at most of the families, the differences that most of the families are encountering today is all related to matters concerning RAD. The differences in the family, the inheritance issues, all those issues are all revolving around RAD. So RAD is an issue that requires special attention whenever someone is talking about RAD. Yeah.
When you look at, and we can even go back to history when the colonialists were drawing boundaries, and we have always talked about historical injustices on issues around land. We are in 2025. We are still haunted by what you call historical land injustices.
Yeah.
How can we address this? Or is it an issue that cannot be addressed by human beings?
I would like to say, in year 2010, we passed our constitution. And one of the agenda that was put there, out of the entire 18 chapters, one of the chapter that is there, chapter 5 of the constitution, is a whole chapter about RAD and environment. That means you can understand what you're talking about. If the constitution itself could take a whole chapter on RAD, so it's a whole issue. And it categorizes RAD into 3 categories. Number 1 is what we call public RAD. Hiyo ndio shamba ya serikali. Then there's what we call communal RAD, where people are together, they own RAD. Then there's what we call private RAD. Then all this RAD today is you have a right, is a protected property. RAD, today you're having a piece of RAD somewhere, it's protected. If you read Article 65 of the Constitution, you are protected. RAD is a protected. You have a right to own RAD. So nobody can deprive you RAD.
And you can own land anywhere, any part of this country.
In fact, the same article says you can own RAD anywhere or with anybody, either yourself with others. In fact, it goes ahead and say, if you read Article 40 of the Constitution of Kenya, it says that you can own RAD and state cannot deprive you that land. In fact, it goes ahead and say, Parliament cannot enact a law to deprive you your RAD. So that means your RAD is protected. It goes ahead and say, just in case the Parliament, or just in case the state deprive you RAD, because state can deprive you RAD either for public purpose or public interest. It says that you must be compensated. In fact, Article 40, subsection 3b says you must be compensated.
If the government takes your land.
The government. In fact, if the government do what you call compulsory acquisition, because the government sometimes, if you realize that when planning was happening back after the war that happened in 1981, that's the time that the planning was happening. Even for Nairobi, the planning when Nairobi was happening, and all other regions. Remember, we never used to have county government. We were having regional provinces, the 8 provinces. Then we were having about 42 districts. Then they were added some more 5 to make it 47. And those 47 now became the counties. So the way the boundaries were formed, today, people enjoy themselves based on their religion. Based on the region. Kitambo, you could hear a teacher has been moved here to Kisii. Another place. Today we find that people are evolving where they are born or something. If you go to any county today, if you look at even the leaders who are there in that county, you realize majority of them, if not all of them, they are from the same area. So let me go back to the issue of the RAD. What we should do as a country today, when we are having IEBC, one of the issues that was having independent election and the boundaries. The issue of the boundaries was somehow rested somehow with the IEBC. So the issue of the boundaries, the limitation and the limitation of the boundaries, it was all touching on the matters RAD, and it is very emotive issue. You try to touch a certain boundary in a certain region, you hear a certain uproar coming. So we should first of all try to consider, number 1, we have a whole chapter that talk about devolution. Chapter 15, chapter 12. When you're talking about all those issues, the devolved government, and talk about independent institution, what's supposed to happen, because today we have a National RAD Commission, it's an independent institution, all those kind of things. Since we are having all those things revolving around, again, but we are having RAD as a devolved function. But today, RAD, being a devolved function, it has been left as a prerogative of the county government. They're the one who have been left to do what you call planning. But that does not mean the Ministry of RAD does not have a role. But today, we are having a challenge. Another challenge that we must have a national conversation to discuss this matter, and that is the issue of the planning issue. Because the governors have been left to deal with the matters concerning planning, but they have politicized. Most of them, or majority of them, have politicized. Let me say not majority or whatever, let me say some of them have politicized the issue of RAD and planning. And I told you 14% of our GDP is controlled, it's revolving
the real estate industry.
Real estate industry.
Contributes about 14%
of
Kenya's GDP.
But now when you are having a county government led by the governor, and the governor is the one now being left to do the planning, so they are the one who dictate whether you get approval or not to develop your RAD or to do your factory, then the national government is expecting money in the treasury to give to the same governor, because the money they collect, for instance, I can give you a very good example. The state where my offices are, we are in Kiambu, for instance. Kiambu has a budget of about 21 billion shilling. You can
Kiambu
check.
County Government.
Yeah, Kiambu County Government. They prepared a budget of about 21 billion shillings.
21.3.
Yes. And if you realize that the money they collected in a few, like maybe last year, 2024, 2025, it's about 4 billion. They're about 5 billion, thereabout. But you see, the other money they're expecting to receive from the national government, from the treasury.
Out of the 21
Out of 21 billion,
shillings.
if they collect 5 or 6, the balance, which is about 15 billion, they're expecting to collect from the national government.
Exchequer.
Now, this national government, where do they get their money from? That's a big question. Today we're talking about RAD, and I told you our GDP or our money, our resources as a country, or our revenue as a country, 14% come from real estate. That means out of the budget that was prepared of about 4 trillion in the budget that we just passed, 14% will be coming from real estate.
And the real estate industry in Kenya is controlled by about 5 or 6 counties. And you're talking about Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado, Machakos, Nakuru, to some extent Mombasa, as well as Eldoret. So those are about. So these are the counties that are going to account for the significant portion of this.
Yeah, and this is in context of especially the taxes or the levies and the fees that are collected. Because why I say those are cities. Those are, okay, these are major towns and cities. Talk about Eldoret, talk about Nakuru, talk about Kiambu, talk about Nairobi, Machakos, on the basis that in any county that is within the metropolis, I mean Nairobi, there should be even a conversation between the governor for Nairobi, Murang'a, Kiambu, Kajiado, and Machakos. They discuss about the sewer system. Okay? Today, because all our sewer go to huko chini, kunaitwa huko Ruai. They discuss about the sewer system.
And Ruai is in Nairobi County.
Yes. We try to interconnect all that, because the cost of doing the sewer is also very expensive. So there should be a conversation concerning that. The other thing they should also discuss is about planning. That is why we are introducing the issue of the Nairobi metropolis. We should have an issue of how will you plan this place? And I can give you a very good example. Majority of the people who work in Nairobi, they don't sleep in Nairobi. They're in Kiambu, they're in Machakos, they're in Kajiado, or elsewhere. So we should have a conversation on how do we plan our roads. And I give you a very good example of Thika Road. If you look at Thika Road today, if you look where maybe like where Roysambu is, you know that route. There's a Roysambu. There are people who are on this side of Kasarani, and other people who are on this side of what you call Zimmerman. There is no road that connects to where they are. From all the way from Roysambu, you have to go all the way to get the right 45. There's no way you can get to this side. Do you have any road that is connecting them? None.
The Mwiki Road?
No, that's when you have to go. I'm telling you, how can you talk about Mwiki and you are at the middle of between the 45 and Risambo? We can't have kilometers and kilometers, and it is within town, and you can't get in. And you can't get in. Let me give you another good example. Get out of Githurai 45 now. You want to go all the way to Kawendani, Kawasukari. You have to go to a very small bridge whereby without a police officer there, a traffic police officer, getting to that place is a problem. I'm talking about planning. I'm talking about planning. So we should have ways. It is not even a very big infrastructure.
Yeah. Just
ways of getting in. Just a way of getting in. We can even do what you call street rights. Where a vehicle comes, stop, they create a way, vehicle will come and divert and get into the estate while others are waiting. Instead of putting a lot of infrastructure, at a time like this one, the economy is struggling because of some few issues. I heard you talking about the global issues that are happening. The global economy is happening because of the war in Russia and Ukraine, the war in the Middle East, the war, all those kind of things that we are seeing. They are affecting our country. Why? Because Kenya, we are net importer. We import more than we export. Per every 3 shillings or per every 3 shillings we bring from outside, we take 1. That means our balance of trade is skewed downwards. So what are you saying? Another example, number 3, is if you look where the bypass is, the bypass that connects all the way to go to JKIA, go to Ruaka, go to Thika, Nairobi, that bypass, normally called the Eastern Bypass. When you are stopping there, if you want to go to this side, of the right side, right hand side, a place like what you call Zetek University. There's a Zetek University that's on this side. All the people that are living there in hundreds of thousands, you have to enter Ruiru town. Have you ever considered that? You have to enter Ruiru town.
You have to go through Ruiru town.
You have to go through Ruiru town. Now the traffic that is created there is all problems. Getting now to a place like Kimbo, near where our offices are, and you want to go to this other side, the bridge that is there that connects Kimbo, all those routes, and people are living there in hundreds of thousands. The bridge that was connected there is like a corridor. It's a small corridor. Whereby without, again, and there's a university that is there called NIBS and such. Again, the biggest problem now happened from there, and now want to go to Juja. The people of Juja are in crisis because there is no road that connect in either side. You have to follow and follow and follow. People of Waitavia, they don't have a way of getting in.
And all these...
People always say Thika Road, but they don't see some of the challenges that people go through. Because
and all these challenges can be...
But there is no road.
And all these challenges can be attributed to lack of planning.
Lack of planning.
And it's quite unfortunate that when you look at, for example, Nairobi, the land use plan that we are currently using, or the physical land plan, it was developed in 1984.
Yes.
And we are talking about more than 40 years ago. The other counties do not have any land use plan in place. They don't have any physical land use plans. Some of them are trying to develop them. But the population growth is so huge, so big, that it is not waiting for those plans to be developed. And so what do we need to do? Because the population is growing, there will be demand for more housing, there will be demand for more food, and that balance must be maintained.
I want, first of all, you just mentioned about the issue of housing. Currently, we have a 2 million housing deficit in Kenya. The deficit that is existing today is about 2 million housing. Because not everybody who wants to live in a rented house. I always say, if you can rent a house, you can own it. That means, if we have 2 million housing deficit, and each and every year we are creating a demand of about 250,000 houses, but we are only able to construct about 50,000. So we create another deficit of about 200,000 homes every year. So we give ourselves the next 5 years, we are talking about another 1 million. If you add to the 3 million, you can see the kind of crisis that we are creating. That's why I support the issue of the government on affordable housing. Because I can tell you, we are reducing that gap. Though it is not moving as it was expected, we are reducing that gap. But what I expect the government to do is to support us in the private sector. And the national government should not leave this issue of us in the private sector, especially in the real estate sector, to be managed or to be harassed by the county government. Because some of the county government still do not understand how the economies are driven. They already, because they omegojea kuletewa. I'm giving an example of Kiambu County government. They're expecting 15 billion, but then they can only contribute 5.
And so that is the conversation we need to have.
Yes.
Because when the architects of our constitution, sat down and looked at counties were supposed to be engines of growth.
That is it.
And when you look at, you talked about the 47 districts that were there before. When you look at what the county councils, the municipal councils used to collect, vis-a-vis what counties are collecting, there is a significant drop. And nobody has ever sat back to ask, what is happening? Because counties are relying largely on exchequer, on national exchequer funding. And so, how do we turn counties into engines of economic, socio-economic development in Kenya?
Number one, we have to embrace ICT.
ICT.
We have to embrace technology. There's no way we can become at the age of this, we are talking about 21st century, that we are having a county government that is running on a manual, on approvals. I need to see when I apply today, what is the status of my approval? But there are some county government are still running manual systems. That's number one. Number two, we should reduce our county government. And I'm saying that one with a lot of certainty. We cannot run 47 county governments. If we can embrace technology, that we run system. Kitambo tulikuwa tunapanga line pale KRA. We used to queue at KRA because of driving licenses. Today you go to the cyber and you get your driving license. Again, we used to
You can actually download it from your phone.
You download it from your phone. We used to queue at the registrar of companies here at Attorney General's office. Today there are no queues there. In fact, those people, there's no queue there. Why? Because everything was digitized. If you want to register your company, you digitize. You download everything, you put everything, you insert everything, and you know even the status of your company. And you can even open from the portal, from eCitizen, and understand. All those things. If today you want to have after you go and sign for your good conduct, you can get it online. You don't need to go back to the CID to get your. Why is it so difficult to digitize the issue of the title deed in Kenya?
The government has been trying this for the last 15 years.
But now, there must be a deliberate effort.
Who is going to drive that effort?
I want to urge our members of parliament, because I know they have goodwill. Our members of parliament, they can push that agenda, that we push for digitization of that. Juzi nimeona wakisema we digitize e-procurement. Naona watu wengine wana resist. It is not a bad idea. So you need to know what is happening. But we must also have security, a proper security of our systems, such that you don't have a situation whereby the country can be held hostage. That it's an individual who is holding the the government a ransom. Because I had one county government, I don't want to mention them. The reason why the approvals were not happening, because we took almost like 80 months without getting approvals. Then we were told that the reason why we are not getting approval is because the supplier of the system was not paid by the county. So he stopped everything. So the county government could not do anything. It's came about an unpaid bill. It happened. So those are some of the issues that we should ensure that by the time the government is engaging a private developer of a system, there must be some level of certainty that it is not a game of trying an error. The other thing which I can also say, especially concerning planning, if county government is the one that is left to do planning, they must follow the law. They cannot create their own law against the existing law, what you call like a supreme law, like constitution. I give example, and I want to give a really good example. And one day I want you to call the CEC for Kiambu. Ukuje umuite hapa. Umwambie akupatie the law they are using today. You compare with what you call the Planning Act 2019, and you compare with the Constitution. Then you see where we are headed. Why am I saying that? I'm not here to vent or whatever, but I'm saying, you realize that you go and present your case in a place like Kiambu County government. once you present your case, like for one, we presented one case like this. Few days down the line, you hear there is another law that has been prepared. You present yours to
by the county assembly.
The county assembly prepare another law. It is passed, and now you are told, and you remember you've already started your project. You are told you must follow that law that have been prepared. The law does not apply retrogressively. The law is progressive. You cannot find me in between. I'm already inside. Then you tell me, now you're going to use this law. Remember, by the time you're going to develop the county, you had already seen the law, you've already done the feasibility study, you've done everything, and you know the need of the county. County cannot come back again and tell you that you change this law. You use the law they are having today. So today, as a country, some of the challenges we are having economically, or economic challenges we are having as a country today, they are all not brought by the national government. Sometimes people complain, a national government, like for instance, approvals of the county.
It's not the role of the national government.
Yes, because
but of course it is hurting the national economy.
Hurting the national government. In fact, the treasury, I can even request someone like John Buddy, before you release the money to some of this county government, try to check some of the issues that are happening at the county level.
I want to hear this from you, Koigi. I mean, you are in the real estate industry, and definitely you understand the ins, I mean, the happenings that goes in there. We all know and we understand that there is a problem, you know, at the county levels. And when you look at land rates from counties, when you look at approvals, you know, from counties, they form a significant portion of their revenue. And yet, this is where you have the most corruption, and this is according to ESCC report for the year 2024. And counties are aware of this.
Yeah.
Are they doing anything?
Counties?
Yeah.
What are they doing
to deal with this?
They are making it to become a political agenda, a tool to frustrate investors. And I don't sometimes understand governors, how sometimes they look at things. Because you know, let me tell you, one house employ like about 20 people by the time that house is finished. You can imagine a project with about 1,000 homes. You are expecting about 20,000 jobs there. Our young people who are having challenges here of getting jobs, we are having youth who are growing every day and they need jobs. These are our young people who are engineers, they are finishing universities, they are finishing colleges, they are going to TVET, they have all experience, they have all academic qualification, but they don't have experience. So we are the one to employ them, not the government. Government cannot employ all of them. So it is us in the private sector to employ them.
The private sector is supposed to be the biggest employer in the country.
Yes, not the national government should not employ anything more than 25%. How? We should be the one employing the majority. But yet now you feel people are struggling. Why? Because where they're supposed to get their jobs from is already sabotaged. Pure economic sabotage. Because when you go and get a project of like about 500 acres, you come and say, no, this one can only become agriculture. That governor is forgetting one thing. Article 40 says you cannot limit anybody what they are going to do on their land. You can't. And you follow the constitution. Limit, you can't limit. So, when they realize that maybe they are doing things that are not clear, they are not correct, again, they prepare another law that say you can only subdivide quarter acres. Does the governor know how much money is in the people's pocket to say whether it's a quarter or an eighth or a half acres? Because you have to understand what the people want. The only thing we should understand is if a certain region, if it's a single dwelling, a minimum is 50 by 100, don't come and tell me to create half. Who is to buy half? Then you guys, as a governor, come and buy the entire land. I'll be very, very happy. I'll be very happy. But not to have a situation whereby you are refusing affordable housing to happen. You are refusing private sector to develop, and not one company, not two, not three. You find governors are doing it. Me, I'm saying like this. I'll urge our president, His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto, Since he know the pain, because he is at the steering. Anajua gari haina mafuta, anagalia gari miguu zinakaa namna gani, anaangalia wapi. Since he know where the problems are happening, he should not sometimes sympathize with some of these people. And the best thing to do, because some things are political, he avoid the politics of that and he focus on creating a solution for us. And because I know he can do it. Last regime, what they did, when there was a challenge in Nairobi, they removed planning, they removed transport, and they removed health from Nairobi County government, and it was given to Nairobi Metropolitan Service. NMS. And a lot of things changed. People got jobs, vinyara walipata kazi, and at least things were happening. Na ile noise ilikuwa mingi ilisha. Today, for Kiambu County government to proceed, or for our Kiambu to progress, I think we require Kiambu Metropolitan Service.
I want to hear this from you. Because again, you know, there must be balance between real estate development as well as food production. And you talked about, you know, Kenya's dropping export produce.
Yes.
You know, in the first quarter of this year, you know, exports dropped by about 3%. And this was led by horticulture, tea, and coffee.
Yeah.
And we know the top producers of tea, horticulture, and coffee in this, in this country. And this has largely been blamed by, number one, the changing environment. And of course, number two, the change of the land change use.
Yes.
Whereby you have a lot of land, especially in Kiambu County, Kajiado, Nakuru, you know, being changed from agricultural into commercial. So where do you strike a balance between feeding the nation and providing homes to Kenyans?
Thank you. One of the basic things that we have today, we call it food, shelter. So we talk about food.
So you have food, shelter, and clothing.
Food, shelter, and clothing.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can leave
needs.
the issue of food. There's no issue way you can leave the issue of
Clothing
and shelter. Sasa wachana na clothing. Wacha tubaki na hizi mbili. Sa food and shelter. Unataka mahali pa kukaa. Si ni kweli? Mahali pa kukaa lazima ikuwe ni kwa shamba fulani. Si ni kweli? Tunazaliwa kila. In fact, Kenya, we are growing at a 1.4 million people every year. 1.4 million people every year.
And the trend is expected to...
And the trend, by 2070, this country will be having 100 million people. I'm telling you. So let us think as a country, by 2070, we are going to be 100 million people. Let's now plan for the 100 million people. Where they will live fast. Because the problem is not about where they will, whatever, watalima wapi. Ni watakaa wapi. Hawa watu watakaa wapi. Because the biggest problem in any country is where will people live. If you want to touch people's now, is where they live. So let's plan on where would these people live. Because mtu anaweza toka hapo, aende hapo, akuja kae kwako. Hata kama hana shamba ya kulima. You can house someone in your house. But you cannot talk about the issue of giving me the RAD. Not everybody who owns RAD to do agriculture. But let me bring you to the issue of agriculture. This country, led by our president, including when he was the deputy president, they did a very good initiative, and I am very sure our president is trying to push that agenda very well, the issue of food security. Today we are having, government has taken RAD, 1 million acres in Garana Kuraru. How I wish you people from the media go there and see the kind of farming that is happening in Garana Kuraru today. How to feed the nation. When we talk about import and export, 60% of the rice, or 70%, is imported. 70% or almost of wheat is imported. Some of them from Ukraine and the rest. But the thing is, where are we supposed to do this farming? Must we do it along the road? Must we do it hapa hii barabara ya kwenda Nakuru hapo kwa barabara? Tuende hapo Wagigi. Tuseme hapo ndipo tunataka kulima. The land in Wagigi is expensive. The land hapa Kagudo Road is very expensive. Along Thika Road is very expensive. So it is not economically viable to do any subsistence farming along those major highway. Even anywhere around 20 kilometers this side or 20 kilometers this side. So as far as we are thinking about food security, let's first of all think about where would these people live. So let's talk about the planning, and we plan with the national government in mind. This county government not plan only by themselves. Let's engage, let's have a national conversation between the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of RAD, county government, National Commission. They discuss how do we do farming as a country. Remember, Kenya is a unitary state. We are a one united country. And the county government cannot say their autonomy. No, they are not. Otherwise, hawana pesa zao. So we should have a way of how we can have all of us come together as people, as a country, and we do how do we solve the issue of food security. I give you a very good example. I come from Murang'a. If you go to Murang'a, there's a place called Maranjao. There's a good place called Makuyu, where there are big chunks of land, where we can do serious agriculture. And we can use that river Sagana. You could do up river. People in Egypt, they're using River Nile, and they're living along River Nile. Why can't we use River Sagana? So inatoka hapa inaenda all the way mpaka Mwingi, inaingia mpaka Indian Ocean. Why can't we see how we can utilize the water and we do agriculture along the river and major river in those rivers that are very productive, but there's nothing that is happening there. Instead of coming to where people are living, telling them they're going to live on half acres, telling them they're going to live on this, we cannot do subsistence farming, especially in the metropolis. Get me very clear. We cannot do subsistence farming in metropolis and expect we are going to sort the issue of food security. Let's try to see how can we go to a place like Nyandarua, a place like Laikipia, and we do what we call exchange program. Tuende tukalime huko. We do serious wheat, mechanized one, mechanized farming. We do it there. The government is putting a lot of things in Ahero, Nyando, na hii hapa because of River Dam, which is happening here. Though the road, ukiangalia hapa Kirinyaga, this side of the road, the area that is remaining huko chini, ni kubwa sana. We can do a lot of other rice farming. So it is not about we don't have something to do. We need only to have a united way of doing things. We need to harmonize how we are going to solve the issue of the food security. Not a governor seated like this and think he can feed people. No, they can't. They can't.
Do county governors have the right to decide that in their planning, in their county land use plannings, they are empowered by the law to say that this part of the county, we're going to concentrate on agricultural business. This part, industrial. This part, real estate. You as an industry, do you get involved when these decisions are being made?
Our constitution is very clear on public participation. And the public participation that normally happens, especially at the county level, they call people who are there, kidogo kujeni, sema yes, sign here, sema yes, yes. People who don't even know anything. Like, how can you come on my private rad and tell me to do industries? Give me the customer for the industry then. Give me the customer for the industry. You're telling my rad you want to do me, I do industry? Oh, very good. I will celebrate. Give me the customer for the industry. Because it is a private rad. County government can go and create those issues of saying here is agricultural, here is industry, here is this, on a government rad, not on private rad. And I told you Article 65 protect you. Article 40 protect the use of your rad. Nobody can limit you. In fact, it is very clear. I think I can read for you. Najua mimi natabiaga na katiba, leo sitatembea na katiba. Leo nilikuwa nataka ni, yes, I can tell you it's here, and it says,
this article?
Article 40 of the Constitution. It is called Protection of Right to Property. Subject, this Article 1 say, Part 1 says, subject to Article 65, every person has a right, either individually or in association with others, to acquire and own property.
And what does Article 65 says?
That's what it says. Subject to Article 65. You can read Article 65. It says, Article 65
yeah.
of the Constitution of Kenya. It says, Article 65 of the Constitution regulates land holding by non-resident, stipulates that they can only hold land on a leasehold basis of 99 years. Any land attempting to grant, they know where you want to see. It's a whole chapter. It talks about maximum lease period of 99 years. It talks about non-resident, resident, and not so much. It talks about even land held in trust, land by citizen. Parliament has a power to enact further legislation to provide the operation of Article 65. It talks about, but I wanted to read to you what says. It talks about a right for you to own property. So even a non-citizen can hold land, and you get a lease of 99 years. You can also hold, as long as you are paying the rates, it automatically gets renewed. It's yours. But now look at here. Number 2, it says, Parliament shall not enact a law that permit the state or any person, this is subsection 2 of Article 40, to arbitrarily deprive a person of a property or any interest. That is A. So the national government cannot do what? They cannot deprive you. You are RAD. I'm talking about private RAD. Number B, Parliament shall not enact a law that permit the state or any person to limit or in any way restrict the enjoyment of any right under the articles on the basis of any ground. So state cannot come and tell you on your own RAD that now from today hapa Thika Road nyinyi wote watu wawetaidie hamwezi kulima miji, mtakuwa mnalima viazi. State cannot do that, and I believe county government is part of the state. They can't.
Let's talk about
government don't have those powers, but they create those powers and they publish them. Then they come and tell you you must follow the law. County government, you cannot create law that ultraviolate the constitution and you think that you can go away with them. Never.
Let's talk about land digitization and digitalization. It has been touted as a panacea to the challenges facing land ownership and management in Kenya. So far, the government has opened how many land registries?
I think Murang'a one is active. In Nairobi one. We have a registry in Kiambu.
Yeah.
But the digitization, Nakuru,
Eldoret,
even Machakos.
And even Kajiado County.
Even Kajiado County.
Are they enough?
We need more, but what we need to have more is the digitization process.
The digitization?
Yes. Like Machakos, digitized.
It's fully digitized?
Yes.
Kiambu?
Zero. Imagine you can go to Kiambu County government,
Nairobi,
then you are told the CEC is not in.
Nairobi?
How does the governor have to do anything to do the approval?
What about Nairobi? Is it fully digitized?
Yes, it is digitized. But now the problem with Nairobi is, I think the current governor is trying to, alikuwa na hiyo program ya kujaribu kuangalia, because out of public outcry, he has pushed whereby those things should not be taking more than 2 weeks. Among apply yako should not take more than 2 weeks, because it was even taking a year. So I think the problem with Nairobi was the issue of having many protocols and many people along the way in the process. You can see it is there. Who is supposed to do it?
You'll be able. You can track your process.
Can track it. It requires only small panel beating. Nairobi, it is small panel beating and it works.
Do you see the hand of human in frustrating the digitization process?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Is there anything that can be done to remove it?
Yes. Let me tell you something. Section 58 of the Planning Act, Physical and the Planning Act 2019 says, it's a regulation, that if it takes 60 days without you having an approval or getting a written reason on why your approval has not been given out, it automatically granted. I want to confirm the same to you, so that at least you don't say I'm saying things which are imaginary. If you look here and you Google what you call or you check section 58 of Planning Act in Kenya.
The Planning Act of 2012? Or 2019.
In Kenya. Leo nimeamua nitakwambia yote. Ndio hii. This is what it says. Section 58 of Kenya Physical and Land Use Planning Act of 2019 outlines the application process for development permission require applicant to submit prescribed form with detailed information on land use, population, density, and proposed easement. Listen, it even talk about population. It even talk about density. It even talk about land use. But you might find some county government saying that you surrender 10%. 10% based on what?
10% of what?
At your land. I have seen some county government saying
you surrender 10% to the county government?
Of your land to county government. Come on my private land, I give you 10%.
Is there any legal basis to that?
What? There is no legal basis. They go and prepare it in the assembly. And you hear them telling you the reason why we have not given you your approval is you have not followed the law. Which law? You cannot go and create illegal law and tell me to follow the illegal law, and I'm protected by the constitution. That if the state want my land, tumesoma na wewe article 40. Inasema if the state want to take anybody's land for public use or public interest, they must compensate. That's what article 40 says. Now section 58 is protecting you. If they refuse to give you, it says, notably, if the planning authority does not provide a written response to the application within 60 days, the permission is considered granted by default.
Let me ask you this.
So, if anybody who is there and you applied in any county government, your application, and you have not been given a written reason for denial, for the approval, just know your application is approved according to section 58 of the Planning Act.
You see, when you look at land use and management here in Kenya, the constitution is the anchor law.
Yeah.
But then next you have the Property Act. You have the Land Registration Act. Also county comes in with Land Use Act. Do we really need to improve on our legal processes, or do you think or feel that the industry is over-regulated?
I don't want to say that we are over-regulated. I want to say I think people have got personal interest. And the only way right now people are safeguarding themselves is through the court. You say the legal mechanism that you can use. If, for instance, you have not been given approval, and you want to go for your land, and you want to develop, I have seen investors coming in this country, and they want to do factories. But because some people seated in the county government do not want to give that approval, they frustrate the investor. And when they are frustrated, they go back with their money. So this country we are marketing a lot. Our president is all over marketing this country. Governors are all over marketing this country. But when it comes to the issue of implementing or trying now to start or to move, process hapa katikati inakuwa mbaya. Maybe the president does not know, but I don't want to say that the governor do not know. Most of the governors know what is happening.
The governors are aware.
Oh, most of the governors, I want to say most of the governors are aware. We have some county government that you don't have a problem, you don't encounter a problem today when you're getting your approvals. A place like Wasingishu, uko kwa Governor B. A place like Nakuru, you don't get problems. No, you don't get. In fact, they even don't know. So because you have CEC, who is mandated on a matter's approval, because if you get your approval, you never see the signature of the governor. You see the signature of the CEC. But so now, it's not about overregulation. I think it's about interest. I think, or maybe some ignorance, or maybe purely economic sabotage, or something that we don't know. Because we cannot market the country. And I told you when talk about RAD, don't only think about real estate kujenga tu nyumba. No, factories, industries. It's a sector of manufacturing. We require RAD. But that factory requires a piece of RAD. And that's what I want to sell. But I don't get approvals. So that industry will not be done. People will not get jobs. Cement company will not work. We have seen cement company going down. We've seen kampuni za mabati, kampuni za chuma. Vijana wetu watafanya kazi gani? Na ama how would our people work? So we must have a deliberate effort that we sit down, and I'm going to ask the Council of Governors, please, let's sit down. Let's sit down and see how we are going to grow our economy together. Let's avoid these shows, if you happen about it, because some of these governors are making our MCAs not to be re-elected. Because our MCAs, they are relying with what the governor will say. Remember, MCAs do not have their own fund. So they have to rely with the governor for development in their area. When there is no development, so I'm even calling to have water development fund, so that at least these MCAs would not go to beg or to kneel to the governor to bring development in their area.
Help me understand this. I mean, when you look at Kenya, there are various associations that represent the welfare of investors.
Yeah.
In the real estate industry, you have the Real Estate Association of Kenya. You have the Kenya Private Sector Alliance.
Yeah.
You have Kenya Association of Manufacturers. You have resident associations. All these organizations, have they made a petition either to the Council of Governors, to the Presidency, to the Ministry, or to Parliament? Do we have any conversations going on so that how they can ease land approvals in Kenya and land transactions?
Thank you for that. I think currently we've been having so many institutions in the sector try to push that agenda over togetherness. And now today we are having an institution called LESA, Real Estate Welfare Association. All of us in the private sector, like us, where the company that I represent called Finsco Africa, we have we are members of LESA, called the Real Estate Welfare Association. We have our own chairman called Washira. He's the CEO and the chairman of Almods. We don't look at ourselves as competitors. We are complementing each other. And previously, before that, we had another one who was called Kenyan, who is the CEO of Mount Rad. So we have many people. So we find us people like AMG is a good company that's doing very well. We have Wilson Home, we have World Co, Optiven. We are there. So when recently we got a problem, we recently petitioned Kiambu County Assembly recently, and we put our case together. And we went there, and we were given a chance in Kiambu
were given
County.
audience.
Yes, we were given audience in the assembly, and we went there and we were given an audience by the committee for the Kiambu County, the one that look for the issue of urban planning, RAD, and all those issues. But the moment we put those things and we gave our request, so our request to be checked, instead of that, we were even harassed more. In fact, the chairman who was who gave us that chance was removed. I think Anaitu Wangada, an MC of I think Morera, he was removed, and the committee was distorted completely.
So what is your next
So
step?
now the next thing is to go to the Senate and to go to court and to ask the president, a place like Kiambu, itolewe planning. What is itolewe planning? Ikitolewa planning, na itolewe health. Because they have been unable to manage the health.
But land planning is a function of the county government.
No, Kiambu, Nairobi ilitolewa planning ikapatiwa badi.
Yeah, through arrangement.
It was an arrangement. It was not about whether Sonko could agree or not. No, it was given to them.
So,
because Kiambu require the same. Otherwise, this country will continue having problems.
Help me understand this. You seem to
And
be
this one
having
I'm
a lot
telling
of
you
challenges
with a lot
with
of fact, because it is not anything that I'm trying to talk about bad things about Kiambu. I'm saying the issue of the planning in Kiambu has been politicized so much. It requires, first of all, to be given to the county, to the national government. Itengenezewe mambo zote za approval itolewe kwa county, ipatiwe team that does not report to the governor but report to the ministry.
You are from Murang'a County.
Yes.
You have businesses in Kiambu County.
Yes.
You live in Nairobi.
Yes.
When you look at, land processes in those 3 counties, why are you picking up on Kiambu?
Because, did you saw the issue of Tattoo City?
Yep.
Why were they complaining? It's a big institution like that one. Are you telling me those people are mad? No. There are other people who are gone through problems. Let me tell you something. One day, you realize that you go and you want to go and buy a piece of rad somewhere in Kiambu. I'm a victim. You asking me why? Let me tell you why. I am a victim. An issue that I can even go in a court of law and present my case. And I ask the county government of Kiambu to pay me for the loss of income. Do you know why I'm saying this? It's because you go with your own rad, you call your people, your customers, and tell them, come, I have the rad that I got here, come, you tell me what you require. Then the customers come. When they're there, maybe I think a quarter, or you write, me a quarter, hey, I want a half, I want to. From the study that you take, that's why we do what you call the bucket sounding, or that's what we call feasibility study. You record, I think 40% of the people want quarter. 60% want this. This number of percent want this. That is how you'll be able to plan your rad. When you show them on a bare rad, that's how you'll be able to understand what people want. Because you cannot go and start planning for halves, because you don't know what people want. But before that, you realize that your people are harassed, they are arrested. I have 3 people who are arrested, my staff.
For what?
By Kiambu County government. But we were selling rad without approval. Show me the law that says that you cannot sell your rad without approval.
Have you talked to the National Land Commission?
It is not their mandate to do that. I think the best thing is.
But they are the custodians of lands in Kenya.
They are custodians, but it is not within their jurisdiction about that issue, whether to sell rad without approval or not approval.
Have you talked to Senate?
Now, I've already started the process.
Is it you or the players in the industry?
We are going there as a lesser leader. Tulianza Kiambu, tukaenda kwa assembly. Now we are going to the Senate to tell them to check the conduct. In fact, that is abuse of office.
Is the Ministry of Lands aware of this?
We have not written to the ministry, but we have spoken to them.
About
we
the challenges you're facing.
People, but we have also mentioned we have written, especially because we are a victim. We have written a letter that tumeipeana kwa some government offices.
When you talk to investors in, let's say, Kilifi County, because even in Kilifi County you have real estate investors. When you talk to investors in Kwale County, in Mombasa County, in Uasin Gishu County, in Nakuru County, are they experiencing the same challenges?
Kilifi, those issues are not there. Those issues are not there.
What have they done differently?
No, my friend. People even asking, when do you want to start? How can we help you? They even giving you services almost like for free. When do you want us to start? One day we went to Uasin Gishu, and my team, we wanted to buy a piece of land in Uasin Gishu. We want to do a project in Eldoret. A very big project. I want to say it's ambitious because it's a big project, about 600 acres. We want to do a whole master plan with a lot of things in Eldoret, in partnership with the people, other partners in Eldoret. In our meeting, the governor, anaitwa koti moja, ule bwana B.
Yep.
Do you know he came to our meeting and asked us, what do you want? And he came with a team. Have you ever been feeling that I was not in there, me as a CEO, but my directors were there. The governor was asking them, what do you want? Work with this one. What do you want? Work with this one. And this is how we are looking at this area.
What about in Murang'a County?
Murang'a, we are trying. Murang'a, we are trying. Because I have a project in Murang'a called Dika Group Chania. I've already given the titles. We had small challenges at the beginning, but right now those challenges are not there. So because Murang'a, when we started,
what are they doing differently that other counties like Kiambu are not doing it?
Kiambu government, they will dodge you. Kiambu government, you even go and try to sell the project in Murang'a in Kiambu, they will not stamp your document. Like for us, I think they were given ultimatums. Don't touch the document that come from this company. So don't you should have those flyers. You go and take there. Unaambiwa usipeleke ukijaribu kuzichukua huko, then you leave the job.
Very well.
If you go to that planner, anakwambia hii maneno, I don't want to lose my job. When you hear people are being intimidated that way, then you realize we are in the wrong direction.
Maura,
I mean, one day, why can't you one day call for a forum? Isikuwe ni mimi. You call us from the lead state, like the way you normally call for a meeting like this one. Someone is seated there, people, and you don't choose.
Where we can have a panel conversation.
Panel. Choose then call the CEC.
Very good.
Call the CEC, call the director of whatever, call all of them. We sit down in a panel. We ask ourselves questions. Probably, maybe it's a problem that can be sorted out. Or maybe the government does not know.
Well, Kogi, unfortunately, time is up. When it was just getting better and sweeter. We'll keep on having this conversation and, of course, talking to all the stakeholders, because at the end of the day, all of us are Kenyans, and our agenda is to see a well-developed and a harmonious country.
Yeah.
We'll continue to converse, and we are looking forward to that kind of a panel discussion whereby we're going to have the COG, RESA, NLC, Ministry of Lands, all together in one platform to discuss land matters in this country.
Thank you so much. I'll ask my chairman, the RESA, to contact you guys. You can have a panel.
Very good.
And it will be very good.
Thank you very much indeed.
Asante.
Well, we've been talking to Maura Kogi. He's the CEO of Finsco Africa. And of course, our topic of conversation this morning has been around land management in Kenya and how we can use land as a tool for socio-economic development in this country. And you have heard from him the challenges and the opportunities and the bolts that we need to tighten so that we can move forward. You're watching Biz Check. The first hour is down. We're coming up next with the second hour. In our conversation, we shall be looking at the dynamics of global geopolitics. Our guests are in the house. This is Biz Check with me, O'Brien Kimani.